Hello, guys, for Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Well, last episode, we pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, I think we've solved the whole case. So now we just gotta confront Cammy Meele about it and see if our theories line up with the facts. Which, as far as we're concerned, they do. Miss Meele. Miss Meele! Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier? About when you answered some service calls as we were departing from St. Fay? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in St. Fay. Oh? Miss Cammy Meele. Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did. No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meele. Well, I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well. Miss Meele, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span. From just before we were to land at 3 AM and 6 AM when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes. Yes, I am. And you're very obviously playing dumb, and it's not gonna work. Yeah. From 3 to 4 hours in flight, attendant's room, all by my lonesome? That's just not true. Wait, let me check the receipt again. That's not the receipt. That's the receipt. The timestamp says 5:40 AM. Yeah, no, you were definitely not the only one. Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. It was 3 to 4. Okay, never mind. I thought if it was from 5 to 6, then that would be a thing. But no, 3 to 4. Okay, fine. I'll let you slide on that one. And from 5 to 6, I was. No, you weren't. You absolutely were not. Funny. I was about to let you slide too, and then you had to actually contradict what I was saying. How was a man supposed to react to testimony like that? Miss Meele, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. Okay, so I can't present evidence, I have to press her first? Okay, that's fine. Well, let's just go to the part where you say that you were in the flight attendant's room all by your lonesome self from 5 to 6. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh? Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Of course you raise an objection. Miss Meele, there was a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 AM, because this suitcase receipt says otherwise. I wonder if you would be so kind to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meele. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Mr. Nero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see, it clearly says 5:40 AM. Mr. Nero. Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I've requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Mr. Nero, between the hours of 5 and 6 AM, you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in-flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which I went straight to the attendant's room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meele there at the time? No. So Miss Meele, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 AM? For God's sake, wake up. Miss Cammy Meele. Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. She could take me for a fool. That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? No, I really don't. You want to give me a chance? Oh, sure. Sure, let's give you another chance for you to just dig yourself deeper into the hole you've gotten yourself into. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew, but you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard that you stole. Yeah, the elevator keycard that you stole. Please leave Mr. Nero out of this conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of... I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Okay, that was an interesting conversation we've just gone and had there. Anyway, so, as far as the whole you being the killer thing, You definitely stole the key card. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meele? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spend so much time in there, it might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of... What? Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? I thought you meant charge like charging the batteries. Oh, silly me. Why didn't you say so in the first place? Well, that's what I meant. Yes, I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian? Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Oh, such as perhaps, certificates of statues? Very interesting. Okay, so are you gonna say, well, I'm in charge of the elevator key card, are you gonna say, oh, I'm in charge of the attendance room and some Borginian stuff, such as this certificate right here? So you are the one, you are the only one in this flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh my god, you fall asleep every 5 seconds. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Virginia for a while. Oh, for God's sake. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose, to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meele. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document, but you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation after all. I mean, I have the fact that I have the suitcase. You know, the fact, you know, how you kind of took the suitcase with the direct implication, with the intention of framing Miss Tenero, which you are still trying to frame Miss Tenero for. I needed to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly, so sorry about that. It seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring, and just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is a smuggling ring member? Yeah, here we go again! You're still trying to frame her for it! You are still trying to Did you just blow bubbles at me? Who are you, SpongeBob and Patrick on a date at Jellyfish Field trying to blow bubbles in my face? I got news for you, buddy. You're gonna need a little more than bubbles to try to scare me away. So perhaps there was some element of upset about the play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, and now it was Miss Tenero who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. Except you. You have no proof that Merida is being set up or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenero from the very beginning, and that would be the suitcase. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they choose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? She knows we're onto her. The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenero for the murder. Miss Tenero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail, but should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. Stupid bubbles. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they might do with whoever was at hand, adapted the plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? This is because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstance dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? Where the murder took place, because the second you land, The second the plane touches down, they're immediately gonna find the dead body. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on the plane, mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Mr. Nero or myself, but you, Miss Cammy Meele. Only you and you alone could be the killer. Oh, don't even try to fall asleep again. Can I skip, please? Thank you. Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Yeah, because each time we get closer and closer to proving her guilty, she just magically falls asleep again. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. You're not giving this one up easily. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? The cell phone. Something that I still can't quite fit into the wall. I mean, we can assume that she took it. But where would she have... Oh, maybe we can ask to, like, check... didn't De Niro say that some... Because they were sitting next to 2 lockers and there's 2 flight attendants. So maybe we check the locker, check her locker, and see if it's there. You try that. I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on, and that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport from a phone call from Agent Higgs' cell phone, or at least that's what you told me. That's right, but Agent Higgs' cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Haha, come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? Yes, exactly. We won't know that until we try to experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do not? Of course I do. Agent X's phone! It's ringing from somewhere, sir! So it didn't break? I could have sworn, from that height, I could have sworn that if the glasses broke, so would the cell phone. But that actually makes more sense. Because, so maybe the phone itself didn't stop working. But maybe the screen shattered. And if the screen shattered, it would make it very difficult to erase any evidence, any photos that may have been taken, right? So that would explain why she took the cell phone. Right? Okay, so now we're just gonna figure out where that sound is coming from. Oh no, I actually have to find the sound. Okay, well, the first place I'm gonna check is the flight attendant's room locker, so let's go up there. Let's see. Yep, it's definitely in here. And it sounds like it's coming from those lockers over there. So can we please skip? I really wish there was, I could, like, maybe I could, I wish I could hold text to make it go faster. Or something like that, I don't know. Anyway, is it over here? Can we examine this? The ring is coming from in here, sir! What? No, it can't be. This has gotta be the victim's cell phone. Just whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. Oh. What? Well, that wasn't part of the plan. March 12th, 4:28 p.m. Flight I-390, lower deck cargo hold. So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where did you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Mr. Nero's locker. What? But, wrote it to Nero. I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Nero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Mr. Nero's locker at the same time. This is related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjecture at this point. Alright then. Why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? Well, they took the cell phone probably because there's photos on there. It's like photos of the fake statue. It must have something very incriminating on or in it. Hold it. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. So, we can't actually access the, the photos, but there is a the LCD is broken. Without a screen, you can't even place a call with this. Yeah, which means you can't take photos. Is there a photo button? Is that a photo button? Or is there even a camera? Ah, there is a camera! Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it. I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of a smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can I take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
This looks like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine.
Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for a smuggling case? If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler.
But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a superb prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that.
May I go back to sleep now?
No, because we're not finished yet.
The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But but that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data.
What? What do you mean by that, Francisca?
It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone.
Francisca, your phone, if you please.
Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now.
This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for a smuggling case. Well, it shows that the thing isn't there.
Hey! They leave Red's nowhere in this pic, sir.
But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch.
Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this photo.
Find out from this about... Oh my god, why can't I speak? Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? Okay, well, obviously there's something that we can use here. But what exactly would that be? What should... I mean, there's the suitcase there that wasn't there before. Maybe. But she probably wouldn't. That doesn't definitively tie it to her. We need something in this one that would definitively tie it to her. But what exactly would that be? I mean, what are these boxes doing here? Because this is where the freaking statue was beforehand. So what are these boxes doing here?
Oh, you go from Virginia to St. Fe.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in St. Fe. Yup, but here's the thing though. All the Borginian stuff was loaded off before the refueling, so this photo was taken beforehand. There's no English written down there anywhere, and the only person who can decipher that is Cammy Meele.
Because who makes it written Virginian? It is cloth in English.
Cloth? Could it be? Is this where the killer...
What is with that scary face?
Miss Meele. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence, after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is.
Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth.
The Virginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. The Virginian cloth. No, not that. The cloth. Because they were taken off. They were unloaded before the refueling. At the refueling, so this photo was taken before the refueling.
And what is that supposed to prove?
The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in St. Fe had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed the piece to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian, and the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Cammy Meele.
Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is English or Virginian.
Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There was no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Virginian, well then, they could have just opened the box full of bed sheets. Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The bed sheets.
Hey, it says bedsheets and English in the box.
Precisely. And bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say?
So what are you trying to say?
That if I were the criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first.
However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have any explanation for that?
The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave the signs in the box where the sheets had been opened. However, the Virginian cloth, well, that's a horse for a different color.
Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of St. Fe?
That's right. That is why the Virginian cloth was used. And the only Virginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Cammy Meele. You and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were real sealed. All we would have to do is contact the St. Fe authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So what do you say, Miss Meele? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in St. Fe?
Are you gonna crack? Are you gonna break down? Yup, I think she's breaking down. That's a lot of bubbles. That's a lot of bubbles, oh dear.
He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble.
Yup. Exactly what we thought. March 12th, 5:26 p.m., flight I-390, first floor lounge, where it all began. We're just making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
We're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully, we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye.
Mr. Edgeworth, I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much.
It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation.
But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna love this.
That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. Well, actually, Gumshoe said he would want it. So we can take it for him.
No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well.
Me, no. Gumshoe, definitely yes.
And remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Now, I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. But boy, was it fun.
Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Francisca?
Oh, she's filing out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Wincom is always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case.
Detective, can you cancel the call I had you reserve earlier?
You got it, sir.
March 12th, 5:47 p.m., Hope Springs Airport. Francisca.
I thought I told you when you first landed. I have no time for idle chatter.
I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met.
I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am?
You are Francisca von Kammer, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect.
Until only a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing period, living a life on the name and fame that her invisible father built.
True, your father Manfred von Kammer didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible.
What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more than troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one sliver of the big picture.
Sounds like a dangerous assignment.
You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself.
Yes, I suppose you can.
Plus, there is another agent on this case with me.
Oh? Another agent?
He's a star among Interpol agents, and he has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day.
I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths.
Well, we had a little thing called Turnabout Visitor.
I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same.
I'm not following you.
You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back in full.
Alright then. See you later, Von Karma. And just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Oh, I think I'm going to celebrate by adding a little extra sauce on my instant noodles tonight.
Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in the patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. I remember what happened at the end of Justice for All when you kind of crashed. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca Von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking.
Who are you gonna be? Finally I called. Who knows how many times earlier I couldn't get through.
And you are?
Miles, my boy. Mr. Amano? Ernest Amano, correct?
Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped. Oh?
Oh, okay then. That's nice. What a lovely cliffhanger we got going on there.
And I'm assuming that guy's right there is Ernesto Armano. Okay. Alright, well, that case was awesome. That case was freaking amazing. I'd still probably put Turnabout Visitor above it, just because this one had that section in the middle where you just basically did the same thing you did in the beginning, and you didn't really learn a whole lot new, so that kind of dragged the pacing down a little bit. But the beginning and the two end sections, those were incredible. Really, really strong. This game is so good so far. And as I suspected, we're getting a little bit more development between Edgeworth and Von Karma, Edgeworth and Gumshoe. This is a really strong game so far, and I can't wait to see what the next case brings, because we don't really have an emotional reason to get invested yet, just because, you know, I don't really know I don't know who this guy is. But still, the fact that anyone was kidnapped is a really, really not so great thing to hear at the end of the case. So the stakes will be high for the next episode. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode to catch you all tomorrow for some more Ace Attorney Investigations. Miles Edgeworth. Goodbye.